You would describe the war room as a cult.
It's what they've called themselves.
We have people who join who are 18-year-old brokies with nothing. That's fine.
They spent all their money on joining.
That's fine.
Someone has to fucking flip the burgers, dumbass.
You can't really beat a Bugatti. Not many people have a Bugatti. That's like $5 million. You can't beat kickboxing world champions. So like, okay, I am forever inferior to Tate because these are the metrics that I value and I hold are important. So you're forever in this complex where you're inferior to Tate, basically. So hey guys, my name is Eli. I go by Elix Anpa on my platforms, and I am the former head of sales and marketing at Tate. I started back in 2021 and earned the title of head of sales and marketing. Done a number of things, ran sales teams, was a record-breaking salesman myself, then worked on the marketing, did all sorts of things such as landing pages, VSLs, everything that's required for the marketing team, systems, and then quit the Tate operation in 2022, July of 2022. Had a bit of a fallout, went public, made a thread. BBC contacted me, ABC contacted me, a few news outlets contacted me, and I went on those. The reasons why I went to those is because Tate's backstabbed me, and you can look on my Twitter and you can see the full story there. I'm not gonna bore you with the full story; it's quite long. However, that's the reason why I came out, and now that's the reason why I'm speaking with Ozzy here now, because he invited me on. He wanted to talk about a few things, and yeah, it's a pleasure to be on here.
Yeah, no problem. And what are you up to now?
Now I'm running Cloud Profit. It's my agency where I took 17 of the 25 editors and marketers who generated 99% of all views for Tate and Luke Belmar.
How much do you think the Tate fan pages and you running their social media in the real world, how do you think that aided in Tate's rise?
Oh, it was huge, man. It was huge. However, there's a common misconception that people have. People think it was hundreds of theme pages that generated all of the views, that generate all of the virality. That's absolutely not the case. It was about 25 or so, you know. The cream rises to the top and the quality shows through, right? There's guys that had accounts with like 700 million views and stuff like that on YouTube and stuff. That was just a handful of guys. It wasn't hundreds of people.
And do you think like the so-called clones that kind of followed that formula, like say the organic people, like the people that just had no social media experience, they just really enjoyed the Tate's content, they made their own pages, do you think that also helped?
Yeah, that certainly helped. I mean, all views and all content helps. However, there is an art to this. There's a skill to this, and you can be very systematic and efficient with this. And these guys that didn't do it this way, they got some audience, sure, but they didn't have the effect that the other pages had.
And do you think these other pages worked with other figures, or like this is a something that could be reproduced for other content creators, or like even politically charged content? Do you think?
Oh, certainly, absolutely. I mean, this is not going away. There are people who have attempted to replicate the formula for success, and all have failed so far. However, it requires a few things, right? You need, first of all, the public figure, the person that's going to be speaking, or the content that's going to be produced needs to be high quality, needs to be engaging, of course. And then you need to organize a team to have many pages and have the people who actually create the content, who actually repost the videos, who create the videos in the first place, have to be extremely competent, and they have to be able to do so in a systematic fashion, be organized as a team. There's a lot that goes into this, bro. It's not so simple.
Yeah, because as I talk about in the video, there's a lot of so-called teams that I'm noticing, like talent agencies and these kind of backed media platforms, where I'll see a post or something, like say it's like obvious outrage bait, or it's like a clip channel, and then I'll go into their bio and it'll be like at an even bigger content platform.
Yeah, I mean that happens, right? The problem with rage baiting and outrage posting and things like this is that the kind of audience that you get doesn't quite particularly convert into money. They're just people who watch stuff and then they kind of forget. You get a lot of pages with big followings who don't make a lot of money. That's not what we want in this business.
Exactly. And do you think in the influencer sphere per se, do you think it would be even more accessible for people since they don't have to pay money? Like say for the Tate fan pages, of course you're bringing money through the subscriptions and the Hustlers University and the War Room, but do you think if your goal is just to grow or spread your ideology, that this is like almost like a perfect way to do it, since it just multiplies and kind of feasts on itself?
Well, yeah, absolutely. This is probably the number one way to grow on social media. The bottlenecks are twofold. First of all, it's the content. Are you going to keep up with creating the level of content, the quality and the quantity of content that you need to create? That doesn't come from the people who remake the content, that cut up the clips and put them on social media. It comes from the creator itself. It comes from the raw content itself. The second bottleneck is keeping your elite guys happy. You're not going to get... The reason why the real world worked is because the affiliate system was decent enough to where they kept them together for at least a period of time. However, now I have these guys on my team now. And why did they quit? Well, the offer wasn't... The deal, the money that they made wasn't so good relative to the amount of work and the expertise that they had. Because when you have an affiliate page and you put an affiliate link on there, are people going to buy from that? Probably not. Are they going to see the videos and get virality from that? Of course, but then they're going to go buy on the main page. So you lose out on a large majority of the sales that you could have generated from your account, and that's simply not going to keep your top guys. You need to set up a system, and we've got a system where you can keep your top guys and you can generate all those views. You can take advantage of the strategy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
even then, I'm not sure if this was your jurisdiction or, when it first came out, because I know there were multiple whistleblowers. How would you say the inside people on the mod team kind of enforced the algorithm or the spread of these accounts?
Can you elaborate? Like, do you mean in terms of which accounts were created, which accounts were restricted, or can you elaborate, please?
Yeah, or criticisms. I don't have it off the top of my head right now, but I
Okay.
also saw a similar thread where it was saying that certain people inside the war room, they had connections to Instagram moderation teams. So say if there was like a page catching
Hmm.
traction talking about Tate, especially when Tate's name was, censored and shadow banned if you put like Andrew Tate or Tristan Tate on TikTok.
Okay.
There were talks and screenshots of somebody that would be like, delete your post about Tate and we'll reinstall restore it, or just taking down pages that are critical of Tate and giving them strikes.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely had insiders on platforms. I won't say their names, obviously, for privacy reasons, but there were insiders on platforms. If you said something negative about Tate, if you said something that wasn't particularly flattering, then yeah, you'd get a warning. You'd be like, remove that piece of content, or your page would be restricted. Or if there were countering and opposing forces in terms of marketing, in terms of perception, then of course, yeah, we'd remove those pages.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense because I saw that thread and then I would look at like these other creators like in that sphere, and it kind of seemed like a big club, and the saying like it's a big club and you're not in it. Like all these creators were kind of buddy buddy, but there's like this underlying, well, if you come for me, I'll come for you. So I was just wondering that, and it's like,
Yeah.
of course, you said loyalty among the big guys is very important. Of course, you have to be vague for privacy. I don't expect you to get too in depth. But did these same people on the mod team also work for other people, or like favor certain ideologies over others?
Of course, of course. Like, here's the thing: all of the top creators, they're all vying for those same insiders at Instagram, at Meta, on Twitter, on Telegram, even. They're all vying for the same people who can basically, at the stroke of a button, ban an account or restrict an account. Do you know what I mean? So it definitely depended more so on the personal level, the relationships that you form with these people, and also their belief systems. Who were they a fan of, right? What did they value? What kind of people did they follow?
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
because as a creator myself, I've noticed, because I'm a political creator. I talk to a lot of people across the spectrum. I don't really discriminate unless it's like something super crazy. But I noticed that even if a page doesn't agree with me, if we're against the same thing, both of our accounts seem to get punished somehow. Like I noticed, I won't pin it directly, to the Tate's team, but I noticed when I would post like a lot of anti-red pill stuff, or even the details surrounding the Tate's case, I would get my post striked or like censored or something like that. So even before the whistleblowers came out, I was kind of raising my eyebrow, like this is a little suspicious.
Yeah, there's definitely things that it can be done to accounts to restrict them, to give them strikes and stuff like this. And obviously, when you have an opponent who has deep pockets, it's not a consequential factor. However, it is also a skill issue. I notice a lot of the creators who post about the case, who post about different things that, are opposing to their narrative, are simply not that skilled creators. And it's no offense to
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
But, if you can't pop off with your other content and then you post that as well, then it's not that content that made you restricted. It's just in general, the quality and the quantity of the content you push out.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like a lot of people mention the shadow ban, and then like it turns out they're not. But one thing I like about Instagram is that they'll tell you if you go into account info and they just straight up tell you like, yeah, we're not gonna show your stuff in hashtags or search or anything. And that's what I got.
Yeah, if they tell you that, then of course, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's no excuse to not build your presence in other ways.
But
if
yeah,
this is your goal. Yeah.
that was basically all the questions I had. You covered everything great.
Okay, cool.
Basically confirmed
Awesome.
everything.
Nice, man. Cool.